Perfect Sense is a film released in 2011, directed by David Mackenzie. It's a unique blend of romance and science fiction, set against the backdrop of a world facing an unimaginable crisis. The film stars Ewan McGregor and Eva Green, who deliver powerful performances as two people drawn together during a time of global uncertainty. The movie tells a story about love during a strange and difficult time when the world is changing in ways no one could have predicted. At its heart, it's about two people, Michael and Susan, who find each other just as everything around them begins to fall apart. Their relationship becomes a source of comfort and strength as they face the unknown together. The world is facing a new illness that takes away people's senses one by one. This mysterious epidemic spreads rapidly, leaving scientists and doctors baffled. The loss of senses happens in stages, and each stage brings new challenges and fears for everyone affected. People lose their ability to smell, taste, hear, and see. Each sense disappears suddenly, often preceded by a wave of intense emotion, grief, anger, or even joy. The world becomes quieter, less colorful, and more uncertain with each loss, forcing everyone to adapt in unexpected ways. This film is about how people live when everything changes. It explores how society copes with loss, how families and friends support each other, and how daily routines are transformed. The emptiness of public spaces and the silence that follows each wave of the illness create a haunting atmosphere. It asks important questions. How do we keep hope alive when the world feels hopeless? How do we love when we are afraid of losing everything, even our own senses? The film invites us to reflect on what truly matters when so much is taken away. The story is simple but also very strong. It's about resilience, connection, and the human spirit. Even as the world grows darker and more uncertain, the characters find ways to adapt and support each other, showing that love and hope can survive even the greatest challenges. As we watch, we see how the world reacts to fear and loss. Some people panic, others withdraw, but many come together to help one another. The film captures both the chaos and the quiet moments of humanity that emerge in times of crisis. We also see how two people try to hold on to each other, finding meaning and comfort in their relationship. Their love story becomes a symbol of hope, showing that even when everything else is stripped away, human connection remains. This is not just a story about sickness, it is a story about what it means to be human, about vulnerability, courage, and the need for connection. The film reminds us that even in the darkest times, we can find light in each other. In the next sections, we will look step by step at the film, its characters, and its message. We'll explore how Perfect Sense uses its unusual premise to ask deep questions about love, loss, and what it means to truly live. The two main characters in Perfect Sense are Susan and Michael. Susan is a scientist. She studies diseases and tries to help people understand what is happening. She is smart, serious, and sometimes lonely. Michael works as a chef in a busy restaurant. He loves food and enjoys cooking for others. He is friendly, but he also hides his feelings. He has not been very lucky in love before. Both Susan and Michael live in the same city. They do not know each other at first. They both feel alone in their own ways. Life is hard for them, but they keep going every day. Soon their lives will meet because of the strange illness. Their story together will show us how people can connect even during hard times. One day, people all over the world start to get sick. This illness is not like any other. It does not make people cough or hurt. Instead, it takes away their senses. The first sense to go is smell. Before people lose their sense of smell, they often feel strong emotions. Some feel very sad, others get angry or scared. Then, suddenly, the sense is gone. People cannot smell flowers, food, or even smoke. Scientists, like Susan, are confused and worried. They do not know what is causing the illness. The sickness spreads quickly, and soon many people cannot smell anything. This is just the start. The illness changes everyone's life. People begin to wonder what they will lose next. After smell, people start to lose their sense of taste. Food becomes empty and boring. Chefs like Michael are very sad because their work depends on taste. People all over the world feel like they are losing small joys in life. Each time a sense is lost, there is a wave of strong feelings. Some people cry, some are angry, some try to remember the good times. The world feels strange and different every day. As more senses disappear, daily life becomes harder. People are scared and do not know what will happen next. Simple things like eating, talking, and walking become a challenge. Even with all these changes, people try to keep living. Some help each other. Others feel lost and alone. Sometimes, the most important moments in our lives happen when we least expect them. For Susan and Michael, it all begins with a simple, chance encounter. On an ordinary afternoon, Susan walks into Michael's bustling restaurant, seeking a quiet place to escape the noise of the city. Michael, busy behind the counter, notices her immediately. Not because she stands out, but because there's something quietly captivating about her presence. As Susan settles in, Michael finds a reason to strike up a conversation. Their words are casual at first, but there's an undeniable spark, an energy that neither of them can quite explain. They laugh at each other's jokes, and for a moment, the world outside seems to fade away. It's as if, in that crowded restaurant, they're the only two people who truly see each other. Still, both Susan and Michael are cautious. Life has taught them to be careful with their hearts, and trust doesn't come easily. They exchange hesitant glances, their conversations sometimes trailing off into nervous silences. Each is quietly wondering if it's safe to let the other in. But then, everything changes. As a mysterious illness begins to spread through the city, the world outside grows uncertain and frightening. In the midst of this crisis, Susan and Michael find themselves drawn together. They start spending more and more time together, seeking comfort in each other's company as the world they know begins to unravel. With each passing day, their conversations grow deeper. They share their fears about the illness, their hopes for the future, and the memories that shaped who they are. Vulnerability becomes their bond, and they begin to realize that they're not alone in their struggles. Over time, Susan and Michael learn to depend on each other. When one is anxious, the other offers comfort. When one feels lost, the other provides reassurance. Their relationship becomes a safe haven, a place where they can be themselves, flaws, and all. It's in these difficult times that their love truly begins to grow. Adversity brings them closer, forging a connection that's stronger than either of them expected. They discover that love isn't just about grand gestures, but about being there for each other when it matters most. Even as the illness robs them of their senses, taste, smell, and the simple pleasures of life, they find happiness in the small things. A shared meal, even if it's flavorless, becomes a moment of joy. The warmth of a hand held across the table reminds them that they're not alone. Through it all, love gives Susan and Michael the strength to keep going. Together, they face the uncertainty of the future, holding on to hope and each other. And gradually, they come to believe that even in a world losing its senses, life can still be beautiful, especially when you have someone to share it with. Living with the illness brings so many changes to daily life for Susan and Michael. What once felt familiar and routine now feels uncertain and challenging. Every morning, they wake up to a world that seems a little different than the day before, and they have to find new ways to cope with the changes that come their way. As the illness continues, they face a whole bunch of new problems. Simple things, like making breakfast or planning the day, suddenly require more effort and patience. The smallest tasks can feel overwhelming, and the couple often finds themselves having to pause and rethink how to do things they once took for granted. When people lose their sense of hearing, the world becomes, well, very quiet. The usual background noise of the city, the hum of traffic, the laughter of children, the distant sound of music, all fades away. For Susan and Michael, this silence is both strange and unsettling, making the world feel emptier and more isolated. Communication suddenly becomes really hard. Conversations that once flowed easily now require extra effort, and misunderstandings happen more often. Frustration can build up quickly, and both Susan and Michael have to remind themselves to be patient with each other. People start using notes, signs, and even touch just to talk. Susan and Michael leave written messages for each other around the house, and they begin to learn the basics of sign language. Sometimes a gentle touch or a simple gesture says more than words ever could. Susan and Michael have to learn to understand each other in new ways. They pay closer attention to each other's expressions and body language, searching for meaning in a glance or a smile. This new way of connecting is difficult at first, but over time, it brings them closer together. They look into each other's eyes, and they hold each other close. In these quiet moments, they find comfort, and reassurance. Even without words, they know they are not alone in what they are facing. Even when they cannot hear or taste, their feelings for each other just grow deeper. The loss of senses makes every touch, every shared glance, and every embrace more meaningful. Their love becomes a source of strength, helping them get through the toughest days. Life in the city changes too. Streets that were once bustling with activity are now quieter, and the energy of the city feels subdued. People move more slowly, and there's a sense of caution in the air as everyone tries to adjust to the new reality. People walk slowly, helping each other cross the street. Small acts of kindness become more common as neighbors look out for one another. There's a new sense of community as everyone faces similar struggles and learns to support each other in new ways. Restaurants close, and shops are empty. The places where people used to gather, cafes, markets, parks, are now quiet and still. This emptiness is a constant reminder of how much life has changed and how much everyone misses the simple joys of daily life. Still, people try to live as normally as they can. Families gather for meals, even if the conversation is quieter than before. Children play games indoors, and adults find new hobbies to pass the time. There's a determination to keep going, to find moments of happiness in the midst of uncertainty. Susan and Michael really show that it is possible to adapt. They create new routines, support each other through setbacks, and celebrate small victories. Their resilience is a reminder that even in the face of great change, people can find ways to move forward. They find new ways to share love and kindness. Whether it's a gentle touch, a shared smile, or a quiet moment together, Susan and Michael prove that connection and compassion can thrive, even when the world feels silent and uncertain. There are lots of sad and scary moments in the film. Sometimes, Susan and Michael feel afraid of what the future might bring. They worry about losing more senses, and they wonder if they will lose each other. But, there are also moments of hope. Susan and Michael laugh together. They dance. They remember those little things that make life worth living. Even small acts like a hug or a smile start to mean a lot. When they cannot see, hear, or taste, they still hold on to each other. Their love actually becomes stronger than ever. They show that hope can survive, even in the darkest times. The illness takes away many things, but it cannot take away their love. Perfect Sense is more than just a story about sickness. It is really a story about how people survive when everything changes. Even when the world seems to fall apart, love can help us stay strong. Susan and Michael teach us that love is not just about happy times. Sometimes, love is about holding on when things are really hard. It is about caring for someone, even when you are scared. The film shows that people can adapt to new challenges. We can find ways to live, even when we lose what we thought was important. Love, hope, and kindness are what make life worth living, no matter what happens. Perfect Sense asks us to think about what really matters in life. The film shows that we can lose many things: our senses, our jobs, our daily routines. But even then, we do not have to lose hope or love. Susan and Michael's story teaches us to value the people around us. In hard times, it is those simple acts of care that help us survive. The world may change, but love can help us face any challenge. This movie reminds us that life is about more than what we can see, hear, or taste. It is about the connections we make with others. Even in the darkest times, love lights the way. Perfect Sense is, honestly, a lesson in hope, love, and being human in a changing world.